Hi, this is Jessica and Sahana from first period, first semester IDC class, and we were assigned a teacher for our placement was Ms Biernacki and Mr. Sini. But today we're just going to be talking mainly about Ms Biernacki. So Ms Biernacki, she basically assigned us two things: her EPS site and her Canadian history site. So for her EPS site, what she mainly wanted us to do was to revamp it and just make it better to look at, so to speak, and so that she would use it more often. So what we did was that I basically changed the theme, because before the words were kind of hard to read. I don't have a picture of what it looked like before, but this is what it looks like now. I changed the fonts and I made sure that her pictures work. She also expressed concerns because some of her pictures weren't showing up, but I made a tutorial for her and we will get to that later. So what else we did for her EPS site was research tips and tools. For research tips and tools, we basically added logins and passwords to the library sites so kids can do their research online without worrying that they'll be locked out. For example, Grolier Encyclopedia, eStat, story values, novelist, etc. These are all things that you can access with the school, but you can't access at home. So she just wanted us to add this on so kids would be able to use it at home. Now, what else we did was the Canadian history site for Ms Biernacki. So for the Canadian history site, this is what it looked like before. She just basically wanted to, again, know how to add pictures on, but I will get to that later. So what she wanted for her site, for this site, was for us to scan documents and pictures that she had so her kids would be able to look at them at home. So for example, let's look at 1900 to 1911. And let's look at the Western World posters. So we basically scanned these and we uploaded them onto her site. Now this might take a while. Okay, so this is what it looks like. We just basically scanned them and then added them on. There were a lot more things. So for example, World War I, mobilizing the troops, just a substantial amount of documents that we have scanned and uploaded onto her site. Now, one of the main things we did, one of the bigger things we did, was the D-Day comic book. Now, the comic book is obviously about D-Day, so kids at home will be able, her kids at home will be able to read through it and use it as a source of information. Now, the D-Day comic book was too large. It was 50 pages, so we could not upload them onto this Canadian history site because Google site can only take so much. Now, so for this D-Day comic book, we uploaded it onto Flickr, and we also made sure that only people with the link would be able to see the pictures. So for example, let's look at it. So we just basically scanned it and then we rotated it to make it look good. So as you can see, the kids can use this at home and with information, and we'll keep them amused and they will kind of learn the lesson about D-Day. Now, another thing that we put on the Canadian history site was the research tips and tools, similar to the EPS site. So we have Grolier Encyclopedia with all the logins and the passwords. Now, that is basically the extent of what we did for the sites. Now, for the tutorial documents, because, like I said before, Ms Biernacki expressed concern about how she couldn't upload pictures and the pictures weren't showing up. They would just have little X's. So I made documents that would help her. So this is basically a step-by-step tutorial of how to insert pictures onto Google Sites. So as you can see, I used screenshots and I took her step by step, and by highlighting the steps so that she would be able to know how to insert pictures when the time comes that she does want to insert pictures. Alright, as you can see, there are steps, there's descriptions, and I also made sure that she knew where to click. Now, I also made a frequently asked questions document. So this document is basically any frequent questions that one may come across when inserting pictures onto Google Sites. Now, as you can see, it's questions like inserted pictures but it isn't showing up, how do I change the size of the photo, and just basic questions like that. Also, this document is very useful because it not only you can use it for adding pictures, you can use it for everything else. So let's take a look at this step right here. When you insert, you can insert image, link, table of contents, or video, which a lot of teachers like to add, especially from YouTube. So it would just be the same process, except instead of clicking image, you would click video. So that is very useful for not only inserting images, but inserting everything else as well. And the frequently asked questions, well, she can refer to it if she has any trouble, and she would not have to scramble to find how to upload the information, and she would not have to blindly search the site for hours mindlessly, just looking for something simple. Alright, and that was what we did for Ms Biernacki, and we hope you like it. Thank you.